Hey there guys, today we're going to be talking about CDR, because previously I did a video on this but I didn't really explain it well, so I'm going to re-record it, make sure the point gets across, okay? So, there's certain champions you want to max CDR on, and there's certain champions you don't necessarily want max CDR on, okay? So let's talk about Nasus. You obviously want full CDR on Nasus. So let's say this, right, so let's say you get a stack, okay? That's a stack. And then let's say this is the normal cooldown between stacks, okay? So you want to be back-to-backing as Q. You want to use his Q as much as possible to get as many stacks as you can to scale into the late game. So, let's say this is the normal cooldown of the ability. If you get cooldown reduction, you can cut that down by 40% up to like this much. So like, say if it was just normal, okay? Say this is normal. So like stack. So, over like 10 seconds you got 3 stacks, okay? So, let's say you cut it down by having full CDR. Stack. 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 So now you have 5 stacks over about 10 minutes, or 10 seconds. That's an exaggeration, obviously. These are made up numbers, but you see what I'm getting at? On champions where you back-to-back abilities, where you use an ability and then as soon as it comes off cooldown, you use that ability again. If you have a champion like that, where it's Riven, Nasus, CDR is extremely valuable. Because say if this is, the normal cooldown, and then let's say this is the full CDR cooldown right here. Like if you get that, that's super low cooldown. But let's say this is the normal duration of the cooldown. This piece in between is dead time, which means lost stacks, which means lost value. If you want to become perfect at the game, if you want to like strive to be perfect at the game or improve yourself just as a player, not even like trying to be perfect, little things do count. Little things add up to big victories. So these small little dead time spaces could add up to, if you had full CDR, it could add up to about 100 more stacks or more. So it's very, very important on champions where you're back-to-backing abilities to have full CDR. So yeah, I think this is obvious enough as a explanation, but like, let's think about Riven for a second. Q, 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 and then, okay, hold on. I think you get the point about back-to-backing abilities and having full CDR. It reduces dead time, and you get to get more value out of your abilities by having them up more often and being able to use them to do things. Like for Riven, she uses all of her abilities all the time for mobility, damage, survivability, and Riven OP. But yeah. So I think you get the point on back-to-backing, getting full CDR on back-to-back champions, where I call them back-to-back champions. Now let's talk about someone like Lux. Yeah, you want to get full CDR on. I personally love to get full CDR on Lux. I know a lot of other people do too. So your ult is on a super low cooldown, but let's say you ult in a fight, this is your ult, and then you have, since you have full CDR, your ult's like 30 seconds cooldown, right? Because this is in the mid to late game. But let's say there's not another fight for about another 20 seconds. So there's this much dead time right here where you're not using your ult. So you want to make sure that you're using the value of the CDR, because if you buy or spend a lot of money into CDR and then you're not even using this time space right here, then the CDR is worthless, and therefore your money that you put into CDR is worthless. So you want to make sure that you're backing those abilities, even if it's just for like clearing a wave at bot or top or something, or you know, just dealing some damage before a fight. Honestly, like Lux ults are such a low cooldown, you can do that. You can just use an ult to try and damage someone. You know, if they're a a mobile target, don't use it on Tristana or something, who's just, or a Vayne who's just gonna like tumble out of your thing or jump out of your thing. But if it's someone like I don't know, Kog'Maw, say before a fight you just decide to ult him. Now he's at like 60% HP, and then he's forced to back, or he's forced throughout the game to have a bounties veil just for you. Just for you. That's how powerful you are. You made a champion buy one item just for you. And like sometimes that item doesn't even do what it's supposed to do by blocking your ult. Sometimes someone pops it via like a Lee Sin Q or something, you know? So make sure you're using your ult so you don't have this dead time and you don't lose out on value. Okay, so now let's just talk about champions like Fizz. Okay, so you know your Q, yeah, I mean you don't really want full CDR. I mean I mean everyone wants full CDR for everything, but you know, is it really worth investing money for Fizz for full CDR? This Q, yeah, I mean it can be used for several things, damage and juking, but it's not like super impertinent that you're constantly queuing throughout the fight. Your W, yeah, I mean like you only use your W once or twice a fight and then the fight's kind of already over. And then your E, yes, you want to back-to-back your E. But if you're, say if like you use your E to clear a minion wave, so you cleared a minion wave here, and then there's not another fight for like this much time, and so you don't use your E whatsoever. And then say you bought CDR boots, like, and then there's a fight, and then you want to use your E several times in the fight. But if you play around the fact that you don't have as much CDR, or I highly recommend getting CDR per level glyphs, which are super powerful in the late game, and they add up a lot more than AP per level, which is 28 AP. The CDR per level can add up to be a lot more than that, especially on champions like Fizz, where you want the CDR, but you don't want to spend money on it. You do not want to buy CDR boots. It's much more valuable to get Sork Pen shoes, which can add up to 10 to 20% more damage on your abilities, assuming you have a Void Staff or some percentage magic penetration to go with your flat magic penetration. So when you have this much dead time because you spent so much money on CDR, say if you spent CDR boots or you rushed to Morello's, then you lost a whole bunch of gold value by spending money or sinking money into CDR. Because you're not using your E to get around the map, that's just dangerous. You're not using your E, I mean sometimes you use your E to clear the waves, but on someone like Riven, you're using your Q constantly to get around the map, so it's super valuable to have full CDR on her. But on champions like Fizz, it's less valuable because you're not back-to-backing abilities. You have a lot of dead time, or you know, dead ability time basically. So just make sure if you're building full CDR, you want to back-to-back abilities. You want to, and just consider investing IP into CDR per level glyphs. I know they're a little bit expensive, but trust me, they're very, very, very rewarding. So yeah, that has been my video on maximizing value of CDR. Hopefully you learned something. This is maximizing and perfecting these small little things into big victories, you know. So I hope you learned something. I hope this helps you, and as G-Bay says, good luck in solo queue. Yeah, good luck in solo queue.